Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to go over a few different things. I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I bought, some stuff that I'm auctioning, some stuff that I've sold. I'll tell you about that at the end. A few more sales I believe are records. I'm going to show you something that I want to be held accountable for so that I can make sure I do a video on it. And then I'm going to ask if anybody knows about double hollow errors from Neo Revelation as well, because that is one area that I feel like I should know, but I just don't know it very well. But we're going to start off with some of the things that I bought. Nothing too crazy, but I bought a collection where the guy had, I guess I could zoom in just a little bit, huh? He had one of each of the artworks for base set. This one looks a little lighter. Is this one a 1999 2000? I don't think it is. It's got the regular seal, but I guess it could be, is it US? Yeah, it's just a regular 1999. But yeah, he had these packs here. He had the 3 packs for another set, which you can see off this side. We got Fossil. And then we also had the Jungle. He had the regular short packs here. Let's see if we got one of the variations. Oh yeah, we got 2 variations here. So if you don't know, some of the Fossil packs have this tighter print on the left side. You can see how they line up differently. Like look at the black text versus the black text. Usually these are tight. I believe this is the tight one on the pack itself. Like it's just like super tight on the cards. And then you've got this one over here. But no difference in the cards that I know of. But we'll go over something that I do want to talk about that may be able to dispute that as well. All right, then we have some long packs here for Jungle. All unlimited. Kind of cool though. Hits the first 3 sets. After the first 3 sets, that's when we had all 150 Pokemon actually represented within the card game. Kind of like with Neo Genesis, Neo Discovery, Neo Revelation. You had the beginning, you had the end. It was a nod to the Bible, but that's when you had the complete representation for like the Generation 2 of Pokemon done. So when you got to Neo Destiny, it was just all Pokemon kind of just being regurgitated. But check this out. He had a box 3D printed for Fossil. That's the lid right there. That was really cool. And inside of here, he has PSA 9 holographics. Not the 10s, but 9s. Very strong. A lot of value in 9. There's always been a lot of value coming from 9s. It's something that nobody's really ever scoffed at too much. There's usually a huge difference between the PSA 9 and the PSA 10, but you still get the card. Really what you're going to have, that's the difference between this and a 10, is you're going to find an extra white dot on average on the back. But as you can see, when we're looking at this right now, there's not much that I can even see on this card that would hit it. I think there's a white dot down here. So like that white dot changed it from a 10 to a 9. You can see it looks like he picked it up for 30 bucks. But that's pretty cool. See what he got the Zapdos for, 35. This will be one of 3 variants. We have the Thunderstorm deck hollow, and I guess this was done before PSA was recognizing it. The reason you know that it's Thunderstorm is because it has the Cosmos hollow. Also, there's not anything kind of going on here. Usually, there's 3 different, well, there's technically 4 versions. One is extremely rare. It actually has this Cosmos hollow pattern right here, but it says 1999 at the bottom. But because it says 1999 2000, then it comes from the Thunderstorm or the Tempest deck. And then you also have 2 variants, one that's missing part of the hollow foil and a corrected version. Both of those would have been under the Galaxy, the old style hollow like this. But yeah, so there's the Fossil box, and if you're trying to relate it to the packs that I bought, then as you can imagine, we also have Jungle. Now, he did say for some reason a first edition stamp was put on there. He doesn't know why, but these are not first edition. They're all unlimited. And I thought this was a fitting collection to buy. I haven't decided if I want to sell it because, as some of you know, I am selling quite a few of my own personal first edition unlimited PSA 10 grade examples of these cards. And to have the complete 9 sets along with some packs, I think that's kind of a cool way to replace them. May not be as an expensive way to replace them, but it's definitely one that is a way to keep the artworks, keep them in nice condition, but not have so much money kind of like tied up in the collection. Bittersweet though, because I always like chasing the best, and so I don't know if it'll hold, but we'll see. There's the Snorlax. All right, so there's the complete collection for Jungle. Last but certainly not least, we have base set. He chose yellow for the top. There's a Charizard. Got the Pikachu. Like so, for this artwork here, you know, you're talking about one of the original artworks for Charizard, the one that you see in Top Sun. I don't know if we see it on the Town with No Map card, that one of the first ones that come out. Plus the real prototype Charizard that is out there. You got this Pikachu, which we see in the promos. You got that Blastoise, which is also on a promo, and then you got Venusaur again on a promo. But yeah, so here we go. We have an Alakazam. We'll do the Blastoise, the Charizard. This one is actually a 1999-2000, which is going to be significantly more scarce, but we didn't attribute really any additional value just because of the fact that there are no sales, and I have to kind of base it off of the liquidity. But I'm going to keep it with this set anyways. Here we have a Charizard. Pulled the 9. Let's see how the condition looks on it. All right, this one has a few white dots. Got one there, maybe one there, but still a very clean card. You're not going to be able to tell unless you flip it around to that backside. Let's see if you go all the way back to the back. We have Zapdos. All right, so there's the base set. So that was the collection. I thought it was pretty cool. I wanted to show you guys because I think you can collect in different ways in this hobby. And, you know, if you saw some of those prices, he got some of the stuff for a really good deal. And then he was able to tuck the stuff away. I think he ended up paying $12.5 for everything. So it was kind of, he had just stuck it all in a collector app, and I didn't feel like calculating it. And I was like, yeah, I'll pay this percentage of it. And we just went with the deal. All right, next up, let's go over some of the stuff that I have on auction. So I've shown these to you guys before. Some of these don't come around very often, but these are box toppers. Like, the only way you get this is if you open up an Expedition box. There's 4 different ones. You can get Alakazam. When you'll see the 3 others as well, but like this is a Skyridge box topper. Again, the only way you get it is if you open up a Skyridge box. And most of these are graded 10. Some of them are not. You got the Kabutops, you got the Ho-Oh. There's Dark Blastoise. The Legendary Collection ones, to me, are extra nice, but I don't know. I'm not really sure where the price will go on them. There's the Dark Raichu, Mewtwo, beautiful Mewtwo. I love that one. The Charizard is not going up for sale. Still keeping my Charizard collection fairly tight. There's a Suicune, so that's Aquapolis. Here we have the Scizor from Aquapolis as well. There's Espeon. Got the Entei, then Expedition Venusaur. For whatever reason, the Expedition one, I always have something in Expedition that I'm missing. There's Tyranitar from Expedition, and then we have the Feraligatr. Now, I am also offering up a sealed pack. Not really a pack, I guess you could say. It's a sealed card. You have the Pikachu E3 gold stamped, red cheeks. And then this is graded Gem Mint 10 condition. So this is the last one that I have. I don't know what it's going to go for. It may go similar to whatever the sealed pack does, or it could do really well. I just don't know. Sometimes there's a demand for this kind of stuff, and other times there's really not, because you're grading not the card, but the cello, the pack itself. Also, I have a few pristines that are going up. I'm curious to see where some of these land, especially with PSA prices the way that they've been. But we have a pre-release Aerodactyl, have a Brock's Rhydon. This one I think will probably be one of the best, even though it's a metal Charizard. But there we go, pristine 10, so it's kind of cool to see there. Very scarce to find these winter Hitmonchans now, but this one is a pristine 10. I got the Houndoom from Aquapolis. Nice swirl there below the chest. Got the Kabutops. I believe I picked this one up for $700 at a convention. This Kingdra I want to say I picked up for $1,800. We got a Crystal Kingdra there. Got Lantern, Moltres, and then we have Zapdos from base set. So again, I'm curious to kind of see where they land, but who knows, right? And all of these I did have, all of the cards I just shown you, I did have them up and buy it now for available for a little bit. They weren't biting, so I decided, you know what, let's keep the, a little bit of stuff rolling through auctions. Now I do have some Topps cards, so this will include the rest of the Topps that I have, which is based off of just the original Series 1 Charizard. But yeah, so we've got like a first print silver, a first print rainbow. Like this is kind of, to me this is like the grail, because the rainbows you just can't find, and this is a pristine first print rainbow foil. It's not exactly the most scarce. I believe third print for like out of the first, 1 through 5th print, plus UK print. The first through 5th print plus UK. I think third is the hardest to find in rainbow, but I could be wrong there. But this is the first one. It's got that blue logo on the backside there. But here we have a second print, silver foil pristine. Then we have another rainbow second print in a 10, pristine silver foil third print. This is a perfect Charizard. You're not going to get any more of those perfect Charizards coming through, but it's just a regular non-hollow. Then you got the silver foil. You got the rainbow fourth. Pretty tough to come. I did have a third print, 8.5, but that sold for $1,000 pretty quickly in the buy now. Now this is tough to find. You have the 5th print silver foil. The 5th print rainbow is one that I never actually acquired. It was the one that I was missing. Then we have a first print UK edition pristine, and then you have the silver for UK, and I don't think there's a rainbow for the UK. But I also have some of the PSA ones as well. And so while PSA never distinguished between them, like this is first print, it's got the blue, black second. Right. Oh, actually, this is it's not actually going to be second print, but I just went ahead and put it that. If you can't tell, but there's a subtle slight difference here. I believe this is technically going to be 5th print, but I just put it as, what people will see it as. This is your second print. Here we have, I want to say second, maybe third. I can't even, some of the patterns I don't even remember anymore. A lot of times it's easier if I can just read it off of the top. Green, yeah, this is third right here. So this must be the foil for third. Yeah, so that other one must have been second. And then we'll have 4th print, which is red. Should be UK, because it's got the black right there. And then we have the 4 chromes. Now, out of everything that's going into auction, these will likely do the best. Not this one or the Spectra, but the Sparkle and the Techno. Very tough to come across. I did notice these are this is one of the few cards that had come down compared to its most recent sale, because I sold a couple of these about 5 years ago for around 50 to 55,000, and I saw an auction it went for like 24. So auction may not be the way to go on the Topps cards, but we'll see. I want to send them there. I'm going to see what the market says, because if in a market like this it's going down, what's going to push it up? All right, so before we get to some of the cards that I've sold and my questions, I did want to have accountability for this, because this guy was so nice. He's been talking with me, showing me information, telling me different things. He's found a way to differentiate different print runs for cards that, like the Jungle 1999-2000, whereas, for me, with Fossil, we can tell the difference because we can see the date difference at the bottom, but Jungle you can't always, and there's different prints for base set as well as even Fossil and different things like that, but you can't always tell the difference. So he's actually highlighted a lot of this stuff, and I don't think it's going to pick up on the camera so easy, but like you can see where he's went through and given me notes. Cyan overlay, I believe that's talking about like the border, like where there's this outline going around the 90 HP. And then so there's like a 15-degree magenta. It's talking about these little dots and stuff that you really can't see. Third print, I'm not even sure what that word is. I'd have to look at it a little closer. Yellow under UV. I don't have a UV light. Other stuff back here, US plus 2000 plus Jungle. So it's kind of cool that he's been able to examine all these different print runs and to determine like what print it came from. And I know that some of them, he's actually discovered ways that you can see on the backside, like with the naked eye, without having to go under a microscope. See like it's almost like this little strand of black dots. That's what, I don't even know if they're black, but it looks like darker dots that are inside the E, and some of them don't have it. So I'm going to try to make time and look at this stuff. It may not be, within the next week or so. Maybe it will be, but you guys hold me accountable. Ask me about this stuff so I can look into it a little bit more. We're talking about really niche stuff here, but I think it's important that we can kind of get this information out there. I believe there is some threads on the Elite Forum about it if you want to go ahead and immediately learn about it. But it's really cool that he took the time to send me all that information. I think information is very important and powerful when it's talking about, this vintage stuff with Pokemon. All right, now the double hollow stuff I've read from. And I've had a few people tell me that, if you're looking at cards, so if you look at this one right here, this is unlimited. I've been told, you see that? Like, look at the horn that he has, or whatever, his ear. See how there's like this gray outline? I've been told if that is present, that it can't be a double hollow, or that it's not. It's kind of like right in here, almost like an outline above his head where the black part is. You can see it kind of going around there. Now, I've also been told, if it doesn't have that, then you might have a double hollow error. So, like I'm looking at this one, and I don't see it there. So if I'm interpreting it right, this 100% not a double hollow error, but this one might be. But I'm looking at them like I can't even really tell the difference. They both look like they got a lot of hollow going on there. So if somebody who is an expert with this stuff, I would love to send scans to figure out what is and what is not a double hollow error. That's the only reason I haven't listed any of my Neo Revelation stuff. All of the other sets have been listed, but those I was going to, but I couldn't figure out which ones were which. And I believe there is a significant difference in price for the double hollow error for whatever reason, even if you can't tell the difference. Like I know some cards you can, like the Ho-Oh is beautiful. Mischievous sometimes has the hollow eyes. Then you have the Houndoom that's holographic all over, but I still can't fully tell because one of those Houndooms that was holographic all over had that gray outline. So it's like, is this actually a double hollow error? So if you're an expert, I would love to get your help on this. All right, last but not least, we're going to talk about 4 cards that I am moving. These are officially still in my hands because it's the weekend, but these payments should be going through. So this right here, we have a base set 1999-2000 Venusaur. I had an offer in hand, $25,000, and I didn't take it. I waited. I was like, you know what, let me just see. And then another one popped up. The guy was able to buy it. And eventually the same guy come back around. He got it from me for $19,500. And that seemed reasonable because I hadn't gotten any other offers around that price, even though my price was way above that. So it may have just deterred people from even sending offers. A lot of times people look at a price and they think it's just too much. They're like, you know what, I'm not going to bother this guy. Even if this one is the lowest one on the market, it may be beyond what people are willing to pay. And so I went ahead and I took that offer. I think it was fair, especially since it had been up a week or so. And so this one should be gone early next week. All right, next up we have Blaine's Moltres. I believe I did not want to let this one go. I had it on eBay for $20K. It was sitting at the bottom of the market. However, the most recent auction was $10,007. And so a guy was talking with me, and I was like, I don't really want to sell it. I'd come down just a little bit at 18, because in my mind, if the last auction went for $10,700 and it was just a few days ago, maybe I can acquire another one. This one has a beautiful swirl at the top, but I was like, maybe at that price, I'm already asking way more than, the last auction went for. And it's not like it's a crazy low pop card. But the guy was like, how about 16? I said, I'll tell you what, I'll do 17.5 and it's yours. And he said, I'll take it. And so this one right here, he's initiated the wire, just kind of waiting for it to go through. And the reason I'm saying this is because stuff does happen where wires don't fully go through. So these sales, they're not technically confirmed until everything is said and done. But these next two were done, or the first one was done through eBay. So I'll end the listing once it has been paid for. This one was just direct to me. Now the next two were also done through eBay. So once they are fully confirmed, I will end the listing as well. But we have this one right here. We have the Mew. And so this one sat up. I had it at $200K on eBay for a long time, and I had a few people come in. And one guy was considering buying this and another card at $300, and the other card is the same one that I ended up selling to the guy who bought this. But he backed out. We didn't end up going down that road, and so this one I ended up moving for $150. And again, the wire should start after this Easter weekend, but right now, as of now, it hasn't cleared. But yeah, it's got a beautiful swirl there. I don't think this has had a public sale. Anything close to that. I haven't even heard of a private sale at that price. So I believe this is a record for the card, but who knows? Maybe next week we'll see one go to auction and, people, they're going to buy it for a whole lot more. I really don't know. It just felt strong enough that I was willing to take it. And then the last one is this. It's Skarmory from Expedition. And I did not get as much for this one as I did the Mew, even though this one is pop 10. I think the other one was like pop 27, but Skarmory it's not in as demand. It's really just for those people who are really trying to finish off their Expedition sets. Being pop 10, it's always been a tough card to grade. I remember I had bought this I'd bought a collection that had it was just an Expedition collection, and I had graded all the cards out of it, and I ended up getting a 10 on this. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably didn't even spend $1 or so on this card. Like, it wasn't much at all. And so I just held on to it. But after it was graded, somebody saw the pop went up. I did a video. They reached out and said, "Hey, I'll give you $700 for this card," and that was like an astronomical price at the time. And so I almost took it, but I said, no, I'm gonna just hold on to it. I want it for my set because I know that I'm gonna go for it, and I don't see any others that I could buy to replace it with. And now the final price that we agreed on for this card, again, it should go through wire starting on Monday. So I'll end it on eBay once it has officially went through. But the guy who bought both of these cards, I mean, he's somebody who's bought several things so far, and I haven't had any issues with any payments. So I feel pretty confident in it. But it was $115, and so a lot of money for a card that, you know, it doesn't really see sales very often. If I'd stuck it in an auction, who knows where it would have went. It could have went higher, or it could have, you know, it could have puttered down. I really don't know. But those are some price points that for these cards that I'm trying to make at least halfway public for them. But again, if you go to buy something, you know, you may not want to take my word for it. I am going to, like I said, I'm going to officially end it on eBay once the payment comes through. It should go through eBay, so all of this should be public, at least 3 out of 4 of those. And then the Moltres, I think that was a healthy price for that card, especially based off of the last auction. But to me, it's always been a card that's been kind of underrated. I love Blaine's Moltres. Some of you have watched. I think I've got 6 of those in CGC 10 because I was getting them for like $1,000 or less. And I was comparing it to 5,000 for PSA. And so to me, there was just a lot of value there for that card. But anyways, I think that's all I have for you guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to all this. I know some of it was just random information me talking to you about. I hope you guys have a great Easter weekend. Enjoy some time with your family. And I'll try to put out a video next week.